So Halo Campaign Evolved is right around the corner, and I figured, you know what, I should revisit one of my favorite games of all time. I don't think I've ever said this before, but I've been a Halo fan for a long time, and while I didn't necessarily play every game growing up, I did watch a ton of playthroughs, machinima videos, and I even got some of those Mega Bloks figures when they were still around. The point is, I love Halo, and when I heard they were remaking Halo CE, I won't lie, I was excited for it. I know many players in the fanbase were or are excited for it as well, but I've also seen a lot of fans either having mixed thoughts or just showing complete disdain for the idea. I mean, I've seen comments that say, oh well, the game looks nice I guess, but it's just another remaster that we don't need. And I'm like, what? This is far beyond a remaster, and while I do agree a Halo CE remake isn't exactly the most original thing to do, I have seen tons of gameplay footage released by Halo Studios and content creators, and it does seem like they're putting a lot more care into it than I originally thought. Now, that's not to say there haven't been any questionable decisions, which I'll get to in a moment, but the game does look like what I think a modern interpretation of Halo CE would be. And I do mean modern because graphics aside, they include sprint into the game, which many players have issues with since it may disrupt the flow of the game in some parts. Personally, I don't care if Halo has sprint. It never bothered me when playing Reach, and if anything, it's just another option to get from point A to point B faster, since there are parts in the campaign that could take a long time if you don't have a vehicle. But with that aside, going into the more controversial decisions made by Halo Studios, the first one that caught my eyes is having to be online just to play the game. Now, at the time of the recording of this video, I have seen a few people on Reddit mention that there might be a day one patch and that you can play the game offline so long as the servers are up, but this is just a rumor. In the case that it's factual, I'm somewhat okay with it, but if it isn't, then this might be just the dumbest thing you could put in a single player game. Sure, it has co-op, but not including PvP, firefight, or just regular multiplayer makes this decision puzzling. I really don't want to sound like I'm hating on the game before it comes out, but all of this has been said by Halo Studios, and whether or not they are subject to change in the future might be a result of backlash from the community, since it does seem to have a major influence on changing things. Now with that aside, the second thing I wanted to talk about was the decision not to have future DLC in the game. By DLC I mean story DLC, because according to the Q&A they did a month ago, they solely wanted to focus on the original campaign and Master Chief. Of course they have the 3 prequel missions that are new to the game and series, but I honestly expected them to expand the main story a bit more. I have no idea how much they will include from the book Halo the Flood, but if they don't, I think that would have been a good opportunity to add DLC. Think about it this way, if you read the book, you know that one of the main characters is an ODST by the name of Melissa McKay, who is canon to the lore but only appears in the book and not the game. If you haven't read the book, don't worry, I won't spoil anything, but she plays a rather pivotal role in the story separate from Master Chief. Now, if the game doesn't include her or just very briefly introduces her character, I think having a DLC to help establish her character and play as her would be really cool. I mean, Halo ODST was meant to be DLC for Halo 3, and that ended up being its own game. I guess what I'm trying to say is that this game has or had huge potential for including many things from expanded media, and possibly being the most lore-accurate Halo game that has a novel tied to it. Regardless, I'm cautiously optimistic for the game, though I'm not sure if I'll be buying it on the day it releases. I know technically the game comes out on the 28th, but many who pre-ordered it will get to play it on the 23rd, so maybe that will influence my decision. But let me know what you guys think about Halo Campaign Evolved and if you plan on playing it yourself. Anyways, have a good day.